Well, the undocumented teen at the center of an abortion battle terminated her pregnancy Wednesday morning. She was able to have the procedure after a D.C. appeals court yesterday overturned the Trump administration's attempt to block her from getting the abortion. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid has been following this case very closely. She joins me from outside the Brownsville Federal Courthouse in Texas. Paula, first, I guess, give us sort of some background on this legal battle and exactly how we even got here.
Rena, this is one of the most contentious abortion cases in recent memory. We know that 17-year-old Jane Doe came to the United States illegally last month. Now, as an undocumented, unaccompanied minor, she was put into federal custody here in Brownsville, Texas. During her time in that shelter, she received a medical exam where she was informed that she is pregnant. She said that she wanted an abortion. She had money for the procedure, and a state-level Texas judge gave her permission to receive an abortion without parental consent. But the Trump administration said that it did not have a legal requirement to facilitate that abortion, which has set off a series of legal challenges.
So, Paula, what's the arguments from both sides on this case?
The Trump administration argues that it does not have to facilitate this abortion. And by facilitate, they mean that they do not have to provide staff to fill out paperwork, to drive her to her counseling appointments or her abortion, or provide her with care after the procedure. They say she has choices. Her choices are to return to her home country or to find a sponsor, someone who would take temporary custody of her while her immigration case proceeds. But her lawyers argue that she is being, quote, held hostage and that they're trying to prevent her from receiving treatment that she's legally entitled to.
Are you surprised, Paula, she was able to do it so quickly? How did that happen?
Here in the state of Texas, there is a mandatory 24-hour waiting period between a counseling appointment and an abortion, and it has to be with the same provider. But in this case, Jane Doe had already received her counseling appointment, and once that federal appeals court decision came in yesterday afternoon, if they were able to get her in with that same doctor, they would legally be able to do the abortion. And there was a whole group of people, Rena, working to facilitate that, and that's how they were able to get her in with Whole Women's Health this morning in McAllen, Texas, for this appointment and to be able to do this procedure before the Justice Department could appeal to the Supreme Court.
Have you heard anything from the teenage girl? How is she? Has she said anything about her decision?
She has released a statement through her guardian ad litem. She says that she is pleased that she was able to go through with this procedure. She said that she hopes to be a nurse one day. She's not ready to be a parent. And for her, this was all about justice.
Yeah, and she's 17 years old. It's, a lot on one girl. I want to ask you, is this case now over now that she's had the abortion?
Well, her case specifically, yes, that case has been resolved. The Justice Department can no longer appeal. But, Rena, going forward, there are questions about what happens to other girls in her situation under the Trump administration. The ACLU is currently engaged in litigation, arguing that the Trump administration is trying to force young undocumented, unaccompanied minors in federal custody to proceed with their pregnancies. There are also arguments that they are forcing them to go to crisis pregnancy centers where the information that they're getting is not exactly objective. That litigation continues. But, Rena, on the other side, I think a lot of pro-lifers will be asking today, why didn't the Trump administration move faster? They could have appealed this to the Supreme Court late last night and prevented her from being able to go forward with this procedure this morning. So I think there will be some outstanding questions, including from the Texas Attorney General, who said this morning, he said, the Justice Department failed to appeal quickly enough to prevent this from occurring.
And Paula, have we heard from the White House? Do we know why they chose not to do that?
Not at this time. I've reached out to the Justice Department. I've been in communication with them. I cover them day to day, and I've probably asked them about a million questions about this case over the last couple weeks. But today there has been no answer about why they had time to make filings in other cases late last night. But for this case, they did not file an appeal in time. They likely would have known that this was a possibility, and it appears one of their best chances to get an abortion case, a ripe abortion case, in front of the Supreme Court. They missed it.
It's a fascinating case on both sides. Paula, thank you for staying on this and bringing this to us and our attention. Paula Reid, thank you so much.